We are pleased to introduce the CARR AE60 electric automatic grommeting machine. This machine provides a great combination of extremely fast operation and safety. In standard configuration, the AE60 is supplied on a workbench and operated with a foot pedal. Another configuration on a rolling base with a hand trigger is also available. High-quality settings are achieved without any exposure of the operator's fingers to dangerous mechanisms, and this all comes in a top-quality machine with some very nice features. Let's examine the AE60. Here you can see the washer bowl of the machine. Inside each bowl there are brushes on rotating mechanisms which knock the parts around so that they can find their way into raceways. Electric motors are used to move the parts. These motors are controlled so that they don't have to run all the time. Additionally, with the very thick metal construction of the bowls, noise is kept to an absolute minimum. Beyond the use of electric motors to feed parts and make settings, the AE60 employs an electronic controller to provide more consistent operation than most grommet machines. We'll examine a few of the controller functions as we continue. When the machine is first switched on, the electronic controller runs the motors on the bowls to load parts into the raceways. As the machine is used, the bowl motors are switched on and off as needed. The raceway may be completely full at times and not completely at other times, but as long as there are enough washers in the bowl, the machine will continue to operate properly. As washers descend the raceway, the electronic controller releases a blast of compressed air, which is used to push them along. Shown here is the air nozzle. In this segment, we have removed some safety covers and stopped the flow of eyelets for demonstration purposes. When washers exit the raceway, they are fed into a washer slide mechanism. Correct placement of each washer is achieved by pushing the washer the exact distance needed to reach the bottom die. The instant a washer is pushed into place on the bottom die, the punch begins its descent and grabs an eyelet. The raceway is pulled back out of the way and the punch continues down to cut a hole in the material. The washer slide then moves back to allow another washer to be loaded ready for the next setting. A split second later, the top die comes down to compress the setting together and quickly returns. The eyelet raceway then moves back into position to supply the eyelet for the next setting. All of these steps in the setting cycle happen very quickly, within 0.4 of 1 second. So you've seen slow motion, now this is full speed operation. Effectively, this machine could cycle 150 times per minute. Another terrific feature made possible by the electronic controller is the washer detector. This device at the bottom of the washer raceway is indicated by the red arrow here. On the main control panel of the machine, the detector switch controls the washer detector. In the 1 position, the detector is activated and will stop the machine from setting when the washer supply runs down, preventing bad settings lacking washers. As we have removed all of the washers from the detector back to the bowl in this example, activating the foot pedal does not cause the machine to cycle. By selecting the 0 switch position and turning off the feed selector, the washer detector is defeated. No parts will feed, and the machine will cycle, as you can hear here. Along with clearing parts from the raceways, this is the procedure for using the AE60 as a hole puncher. While increasing production throughput is one of the biggest reasons for purchase of an automatic machine, operator safety is also an extremely important benefit. A high-quality clear guard is used to keep fingers out of harm's way while providing good visibility to placement of material in the machine. This guard can be easily removed for various service functions. Additionally, a ring guard is provided to prevent the possibility of getting fingers into dangerous areas even in the absence of the clear guard. At the back of the machine, we have the drive mechanism used to cut holes and make settings. Here, a heavy-duty motor drives a belt-driven flywheel, which in turn drives the mechanism used to move the punch and top die. As you can imagine, no operator should ever have hands in this dangerous area of the machine while turned on. Once again, the electronic controller adds an additional level of safety to this machine. Whenever the cover over the drive mechanism is open, the machine will not operate even if power is on. Only with the cover closed will the machine operate, as you can hear here. While we have the clear guard off, I'm going to take a moment to identify a couple of the key parts of the machine. Beneath the finger guard is the ring compensator. This is used to assure the position of the washer is always concentric with the position of the eyelet up above as they are set. This machine also comes standard with a laser pointer, which is on a fully adjustable mount to allow perfect positioning for different material thicknesses. On the material tray, there is an adjustable backstop. With this, you can get a consistent distance from the edge of your material to the center of your settings. When you need to have closely spaced settings, you want to be very consistent in that spacing for a better appearance. The AE60 provides a simple locating device that you can adjust to a variety of positions for a set distance between your settings. Now let's do some test settings in 22-ounce tarp material. We're using the backstop to make sure the positioning from the edge of the material to the center of the holes is consistent, and the locating device, which allows us to have even spacing between the settings. As you can see, we have a nice result. The AE60 works perfectly with multiple thicknesses of material. Here we have 4 layers of 22-ounce tarp material. This machine has a device to compensate for varying material thicknesses, allowing tight settings without any readjustment of the machine. Once again, this machine delivers great results. To add strength to hems in many products, it's common to sandwich a piece of webbing between layers of material. This presents a challenge to some machines in terms of ability to cut a hole through the materials and make a tight setting, but it is easy for the AE60. As mentioned previously, the AE60 features a device allowing for tight settings on multiple thicknesses. However, there are situations where you might not want a setting to be closed tightly. Coroplast, commonly used in the sign industry, presents such a need. Without adjustment of the machine, the material is crushed and distorted. In order to make a proper setting in Coroplast, we need to move the top die away from the bottom die. This takes less than a minute to do. First, remove the safety cover. Then, loosen the lock nut on the top die. Continue to loosen the lock nut until you have moved it by about half the thickness of the Coroplast. Move the top die up and retighten the lock nut. Replace the guard and you are ready to go. So now let's go ahead with a few properly configured settings in Coroplast. The results are much better looking without crushing the corrugate. The CARR AE60 is a terrific choice of automatic grommeting machine. It brings fast, easy operation and safety together in a solidly built package.